This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today. I've had a lot of people messaging me, asking me to talk about this story and also to highlight it as well. Before we start, I'd like to send my condolences to the family, friends and boyfriend of Ashling Murphy. She was a 23-year-old school teacher and she'd just recently qualified, and she was jogging at 4 p.m. on the 12th of January in County Offaly, Tullamore. She was running along the canal when she was attacked, the police believe, and this resulted in her losing her life, and a man was being hunted by the police shortly after. CCTV images were released of a man on a bicycle, and police then made an arrest not long after inside a hospital nearby. Joseph Puska, 31 years old, from Tullamore, has been charged with the murder of the schoolteacher, and he was heckled as he approached the Tullamore District Court on Wednesday evening. Massive crowds gathered as the community is outraged by the attack. The court heard the charges that were put to the defendant and he replied no, and a defence solicitor applied for legal aid and also an interpreter. Mr. Puska turned up to a hospital shortly after the murder with injuries, and they believe that some of them were self-inflicted. The nurses inside the hospital noticed that he was from the Tullamore area, and this raised their suspicion from the recent attack, and they called the police. They said that Mr. Puska is a Slovakian national living on £166 a week in Ireland, which converted to €200. A second man in his 30s was arrested on Wednesday but has been released without charge, and Irish police say that a file is being prepared for the Director of Public Prosecutions, and this is the equivalent of the CPS in the UK. The police are investigating the possibility that Ashling defended herself with keys in an attempt to fight off the assailant. Police have also seized the taxi as well that was used to transport him from Dublin to County Offaly in the hours before the murder, and this was confirmed by the Garda shortly afterwards. The funeral for Ashling took place yesterday, and her boyfriend Ryan Casey told mourners at her graveside that she was the greatest love of my life. I will cherish the last 5 years we spent together for the rest of my life. I hope that someday, God willing, we can be reunited and continue the great plans that we have for each other. Forensics are examining the taxi that he was travelling in, and also the canal is being searched where the attack took place. In some reports from the media, a source told the Daily Mail that a knife is believed to have been used, and this is a major part of the investigation. They are also examining the contents of a bottle bank that was removed from Dangian Road. This is 2 miles away from the crime scene, and it's believed that the killer may have thrown the knife in there after he killed Miss Murphy. Family and friends gathered for the funeral mass in a village in County Offaly. The police had already made requests to the hospitals as well in the hours following the murder of anybody that came in with suspicious injuries. Flags were flown at half-mast in the local area yesterday, and nationwide, even the President, Michael D. Higgins, and his wife attended the funeral. There was also a large presence from female politicians as well, that included the Education Minister, Norma Foley, and the Culture Minister, Catherine Martin. The Bishop of Meath told mourners that this was a depraved act of violence, and this deprived Miss Murphy of a life that united so many people. The children that attended her school even turned up to the mass as well, and to even imagine what the mothers and fathers, other teachers have to explain to these kids is actually heartbreaking, to understand that they will have to know that something like this is possible in the world that they're living at such a young age. The Evening Standard also reported that police were investigating the theory that the killer was potentially stalking victims in the hours before the death. The line of inquiry comes after there was a report that a man on a bike was acting suspiciously in the Irish town of Tullamore. A woman in her 40s reported that she was approached by a man 2 hours before Miss Murphy was murdered on the canal bank on Wednesday afternoon. And this definitely reminds people that no matter how little you think something is suspicious, if you think that somebody is potentially putting women or children in danger, you should report it straight away and try to get as much attention to that area as possible. For a woman to be attacked in broad daylight while she's just out doing a jog is pretty much unheard of. Every attack that we've seen last year in the UK that I've covered on women is always at night, walking through an isolated area like a park or an alleyway or something like this. Police are currently cross-checking all the information, checking CCTV and also the hours that led up to the murder as well. Vigils were even held in London and candles were lit outside the capital's Irish Centre to remember Ashling. Large numbers queued in Camden Square to sign a book of condolences that will be sent to the family. Traditional music was also played as the teacher was a talented fiddle player. Anna Johnson from the Irish Centre said that people came together in solidarity for somebody they didn't know, but they completely relate to what occurred. And this is devastating news that has come from Ireland. But I do really appreciate everybody that sends me the stories, the suggestions, and don't forget you can always send any story to news@scarcitystudios.com. The Instagram has been taken down at the minute by Instagram for what reason I'm not even sure, but you can always get in touch with me on the other platforms. So really appreciate you joining me today, and please pay respects in the comments and don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news, and please don't forget to follow me online at Scarcity Studios on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok and Facebook. Peace.